Alrighty, it is the day one of this Facebook challenge from the Simply Synthesizers group on Facebook. First topic is films with robots. Yeah, come up with some robot noises, or a new soundtrack to Terminator was one of the suggestions there. So I'm going to go with a kind of a rescore of I don't know, I'm thinking of a scene from Terminator, the original Terminator, the 85 Schwarzenegger Terminator, the best. And yeah, I've not written anything yet. Initial ideas, I'm thinking Wavestation, just because it's a Wavestation, isn't it? We can have some nice, I mean, that's quite evocative of the 80s anyway. So we can have some nice evocative, get some nice pads from the Wavestation. I'm also thinking, yeah, maybe some kind of epic string stuff. I don't know, something like that. I'm also thinking yesterday I'd picked up the new Percussion library from Spitfire, which has some really nice metallic clangs. So maybe a very percussive piece. All right, it's the evening now. So what I've got based on today's work is a kind of, I guess, an outline about minute and 30 seconds ish. So we've got some sort of synth lines going on. Which, I'll be honest, are not doing a great deal, so there's still work to be done on the synth front. But then we've also got a sort of a more orchestral component, which if I just mute those, we're sort of sounding like that. So in the mix with everything, I mean that's not mixed yet, so we need to decide to balance up the more synthesizer sounds versus the orchestral sounds, which is for a later date. But what yeah, I've been thinking about the robot sounds, and if you've seen any of my YouTube videos, you know I like to, if it makes a noise, I'll sample it. I think I'll do the drill just so I've got that sound, because there's maybe interesting ways of processing that, and that's, I mean, I know, yeah, that's a sort of classic mechanical sound. And the only other thing I could think of that I could maybe get an interesting robot sound out of is this guy, which is a child's toy. Which might sound interesting processed up or embedded within a mix. So that's the job now. I've recorded the June buggy, I've recorded the electric drill, and I've loaded those. I loaded two samples up into Resamplomatic, well, two instances of Resamplomatic. So I've got like a drill sample layered over an RC buggy sample, so they're playing at the same time. They're mapped to the keyboard. And it's not bad. I was expecting the lower pitches to sound more kind of badass robot. It's not bad, but it's also, it sounds like a big electronic garage door opening or something. And I'm quite liking the ones that are pitched higher, which sound a bit more like they could be sort of limbs articulating. So still some, I don't know what I'm going to do with these samples, so but it's a good start. So I have the finished track just here in Reaper. So just do a rundown of the synths first, since it is a Simply Synth forum. So we've got the Z1, which I used one of the ARP patches. Patches, is that the right word? Yeah. for, and that's for me, that's something new. I don't tend to use the ARP patches on the Z1, so that's definitely something newly discovered for Mark. Again, I can't honestly say they're doing anything that interesting, but they're, you know, obviously this is a sort of like a soundtrack piece, so it's an ensemble piece. So you're just looking to your various voices just to add character to the piece, in my opinion. And we've got some Wavestation going on, as I promised in the intro. Again, you know, not doing an awful lot. Doing what the Wavestation does best, just supplying some kind of eerie, nice effects. What I did learn about the Wavestation is that key tracking can make a big difference. So notes played down here can have quite a different character from notes played higher up. So that was definitely some new discovery. So happy days. And then I did use one VST plugin, Brazille, which is kind of like, I guess, like a semi-modular type thing going on. You can get that on the computer, or you can get a version of that on the Computer Music CD cover if you live in the UK, or you live somewhere where you can get that magazine. Which it's just great for adding kind of weird sounds and fairy dust. Again, compositionally, musically, it's not doing an awful lot, but we can hear the full kind of is it at the end? Is everything going on? Okay, so that's just a Z1 on Wavestation. Yeah, so that's the sort of the synthesizer components of it, and obviously the strings make a big sound in it, and they're from Spitfire Epic strings. The key to that line, sort of musically speaking, is where you put those accents. So I think the accents come on like the fourth note of each sort of repeat. So it's not just da 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 da. It's da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da da ba. Yeah, so it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1, and that gives you that nice kind of, you know, rhythmic interest. It's and obviously, and you can sort of, you know, you can do all that if you're working MIDI with your velocities, right? With the velocities big or small, but also the length of the note, and different instruments, including sample instruments, will respond differently to the note length and note velocity. So that's definitely something to experiment with. French horns. Now, French horns I have deliberately aped. Well, it was my memory of the main melody. I know in the original Terminator score there's some kind of da da da. So there's some, you know, some music element similar to that. So that's a deliberate homage to the original music, to make so the sound of the brass, I should say. Well, I mean, in my mind is French horns, so there is some Miroslav Philharmonic French horns. Very nice. And then I've mixed that in with epic brass, again from Spitfire. So the Spitfire product is a massed brass ensemble. But what I'm finding is if I mix in some of the Miroslav Philharmonic, I can then sort of move the timbre of what I want more towards the instrument that I want it. So this is, so as I say, so this is a mix of the French horns and the massed brass. And that sounds pretty meaty in the whole mix. Let's talk about percussion and rhythmic elements. There is lots and lots and lots of percussion on this, because percussion sounds awesome. So there's things going on. So again, most of the percussion is from the cinematic percussion patch library that's literally just come out from Spitfire. So you have some nice low percussion. We have some few cymbals and rides thrown in. They sound nice. They sound nice. Some interesting swell sort of effects. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what that is a sample of. I think it's probably a dude doing like a roll on a snare drum or a tom, perhaps. But then, yeah, we've got me playing my pizza gong, which is a nice metallic sound. I've got a whole video on my pizza gong, which I haven't uploaded yet. We've got what's this? That's the headstock of a bass guitar from a previous sampling. We've got some percussion from Miroslav Philharmonic. Timpani. Yeah, a track like this needs timpani. And then, of course, you've got those really cool metallic sounds. Again, I'm not sure what the musicians that were obviously playing that and were recorded by Spitfire, I'm not sure what they're playing. They're playing like the frame of a vibraphone or the frame of a tam-tam or something. Obviously, you know, for this particular assignment, they were spot on. Yeah, now the robot. Now, obviously, I recorded all the sort of the radio controlled toy. What I did is essentially created a drum loop out of those sounds. And then, which is very low in the mix, but you can hear it in the original. So that's one of the most unusual drum loops I've ever programmed up, but I think that works pretty well in the mix. And then just at the end, there's one of my loops from my sample library, which is available on my website. You can go and download that, and it's just, yeah, drum brute 110 BPM number 1, which I thought the drum brute robots, that kind of, you know, a real old school drum machine sound. Just what you want. It's yeah, I'm taking off a lot of the high. Oh, not a lot of the highs. Essentially, got a low pass filter on it, and in the mix, it just adds that nice rhythmic element at the end to give you a nice bit of drama. Yeah, you know, just to keep things a bit simple. All the synths have got their own stem. Yeah. So I've taken off some of the top end, compressed it, taken away the mud out of the bottom, which is I find is a must for most synth lines. Strings have their own stem. Brass. And then the percussion, various. The percussion is percussion. The rest of the track. So you can hear those rolls, how those rolls and the low percussion are working nicely together. All the metal, yeah. We've heard all this. All my weird effects are there, and the robots' effects are there. Well, yeah. And then some of them I've sent to a simple reverb send. Not all of them. I'm taking, yeah, the synths have got a little bit of reverb. Percussion has got a bit of reverb. Not a lot. The metal percussion. So basic, yeah, most of the percussion essentially is being sent to a reverb, and I'm finding that as a way to kind of unify some like disparate sounds into, you know, a sensible mix. So they sort of sit nicely together and play nicely together, and that's the main purpose of adding the reverb send there. On the master, yeah, a load of metering, stereo metering, VU metering. I am limiting it, obviously, and the good old STA enhancer, which just to give it a bit of magic fairy dust. Really nice, simple mix. But hopefully, you know. Hopefully there's enough drama there where it needs to be, and also enough light and shade as well. So obviously we've got the slow section. Yeah, nice bit of pizzicato coming in from the basses there. Awesome. And there we go. That is the track. For those theory heads out there, the main piece is in F minor, and I'm using in some parts of it. I'm using the B to create tension, and essentially what that is, that is the diminished fifth, right? So F perfect fifth, go up to the C. If we diminish that, we get the B. So it's just a classic Black Sabbath, right? And then there's a slower section which is just in D minor. Classic melancholy, D minor key. Now the nice thing about that is if we do the same trick of sort of having the diminished, so it's D, perfect fifth is the A, the diminished fifth is that A flat, and the cool thing with that is that brings us back to our F minor. So obviously that A flat is key for telling us that we're really in that F minor. So if we were at the A, we'd be in good old F major. So there's a little bit of logic in those choices of the two keys I've used, maybe. Well, thanks for making it to the end. I mean, this was deliberately a long video, right? Because it was just sort of breaking down the various processes of making a track from going from nothing to the finished piece. Any questions though about any part of it, just put them downstairs. So great fun project, really good to have that kind of a spark of inspiration from a forum, or I mean, this is a reason to work with other people as well. People say, oh, how about a track called this? And I find that's always good inspiration. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. All right, this is a long video. Take care, everyone. See ya.